Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here to do my comic reviews for the week. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Now let's get to some reviews. Okay? I only have one Marvel this week, and it is What If number 200, which answers the question, what if Norman Osborn won the Siege of Asgard? Okay, the moment of what if is... Okay, for this story, the moment where we kind of switch off to an alternate timeline is where Ares sort of is where instead of betraying Osborn on the battlefield, Ares does it days earlier, which gives the Sentry more time to kill him, and he's fully rested for the Battle of Asgard. So then eventually the Sentry is at full power, he kills everyone, and Osborn's able to win the Siege of Asgard, and this is what annoyed me. We have Venom holding Peter Parker, and when Venom takes off the mask, Norman sees it, and he just says, "Take your time with it." That's it. That's all the interaction between Norman and Spider-Man. I'm really surprised about that. Anyways, basically all I need to know is that eventually eventually Osborn rules, then eventually the Sentry turns into the Void completely and destroys all life on Earth, and then eventually the universe. And we also have another What If story, written by Stan the Man Lee, which takes place on the first encounter with Galactus, and it asks, what if Uatu the Watcher killed Galactus? Now then, after Uatu kills Galactus, he's put on trial by the other Watchers, and his sentence is that now he must fulfill Galactus's role, be Galactus's replacement for all of eternity. And we get a little retrospective here about What If. And we also hear from Marvel writers what their favorite What If is. And we also have a reprint of What If number 35, which is What If Elektra had lived. Bullseye didn't kill Elektra, he died, and while on the run from the Kingpin, and since they're on the run from the Kingpin's thugs, Matt Murdock and Elektra go halfway around the world and decide to live a happy life together. Okay? What If number 200 is awesome. Okay? Overall, the Siege story was pretty good. I've had to downplay it for the review, but it was still pretty good. The artwork was amazing in it. And same thing goes for What If Uatu killed Galactus. That was a good story. Plus the reprint of What If Bullseye killed What If Elektra had lived. That was another little surprise they added. You also get to see a bunch of What If covers, and What If 200, this was pretty much all the Marvel I needed for this week. It was awesome. I would definitely recommend picking it up. Oh, well, the price tag is about $4.99, so, pick it up if you can. Alright, moving right along to DC. Green Lantern number 61. Even though Hal Jordan appears on the cover, he does not appear in the actual issue. Atrocitus is still tracking down the Rage entity, and we get to a man watching the execution of the criminal who killed his daughter, and he wishes that he could kill him, but then the Rage entity shows up, gets ready to possess him, but then the Spectre arrives to try to subdue the Rage entity. And so then Atrocitus shows up, and he tries to get the Rage entity from the Spectre, but unfortunately the entity does possess the man James Kim, and he becomes the new host of the Rage entity. Awesome costume, by the way. And the Rage entity pretty much takes control, kills the criminal, and then Atrocitus grabs the entity and tries to reason with it, and he manages to calm it down, and the Spectre attacks the entity, then Atrocitus captures it in his power battery. And we get a nice little conversation here between Atrocitus and the Spectre when he calls the Spectre a fool because his idea of vengeance is an eye for an eye, but that's just wrong, and that it's a different size of the eye and stuff. And so Atrocitus says that if you wish to judge James Kim, then judge me as well. And the Spectre tries to, but then he says that he can't now because his mission against Corona is one that must be protected. And so Atrocitus takes his power battery and leaves Earth. Green Lantern 61 was pretty good. If you're a fan of Atrocitus and the Red Lanterns, I would recommend picking it up. Still pretty good. And we get a little teaser, though, that said Corona's Revenge, so I'm really interested to see where that's going. Teen Titans number 90. Alright, we get a little teaser with the future new member here. Meanwhile, Raven and Cassie are trying to figure out where Barney the so-called villain of this, who's been turned into a monster by Dr. Druid, is. And we have a conversation between where Rose tries to break through to Damien, but he doesn't listen to her. And we talk, and a little interesting character development for Superboy is that when he first joined the Teen Titans, he would think of Smallville as boring, and that he would always try to get back to the tower as soon as possible. Now he feels like he's just coming here, feels more like a headquarters, and he really wants to get back to Smallville now, so it's kind of reversed. And Kid Flash is able to find out who Barney is and where he goes to school, which gives the Titans a location about where he might strike next. And the Titans go there and discover that the school is buried under 6 feet of rubble, I think. And apparently now the kids that Barney attacked all have enhanced abilities as well, and they're apparently under his control. So we got some fights breaking out. And Raven teleports Cassie and other girl to where Superboy is fighting the other guy, and Barney with Beast Boy. And just some fights going on here. And last scene is Robin and Ravager going to the cafeteria to find the rest of the students. And all the students are being controlled and are in a fit of feral rage, which makes them excited because now they finally get to fight someone. And I am scared for the students, because they have these two to deal with. Teen Titans number 90. It was okay, I'd say. It's mostly fighting, I guess, but it's still pretty okay. I mean, again, interesting character development for Superboy and a little bit for Ravager, but still, it's fun. I like it. Alright, now for another one of my favorites this week, The Flash number 8. This issue, the spotlight is on the Reverse Flash. We got to hear the life story about the Reverse Flash, about how during his childhood he resented his older brother, and that apparently everything in the 25th century is timed as to avoid accidents and stuff. So, and for the first part of the story, it's about Edward Thawne and how he hated his younger brother, and because of his apparently sibling lessons or whatever he had to attend with his brother, he fell years behind in academia, and he couldn't get a position at the Flash Museum, so he starts working undercover, and apparently it's illegal, and his brother's a cop, and he tries to arrest him, but then Reverse Flash shows up, kills his brother, not only that, but erases him from his timeline, so now Everett was an only child. He gets to his position at the Flash Museum, but when he tries to talk to Professor Drake about learning more about the Speed Force, Drake tells him that he can't give him the information, so Reverse Flash kills him, erases him from timeline, and now Thawne's the only professor who knows more about the Speed Force, and earns his nickname Professor Zoom. And his parents try to take him away from his studies of the Speed Force, and he kills them. I mean, if he erased them from history, then he wouldn't exist, so he just kills them. And then we just get to a little bit about how he had a girl, about how he liked this girl, but then how he eventually killed her fiance, then altered her timeline to the point where she just couldn't talk anymore. And Thawne never fell in love. And then we get to the discovery of Barry Allen's Flash costume, which was sent through time in a time capsule, and how he was able to find some residue of the Speed Force and create the Reverse Speed Force. And with his newfound speed, he became the Flash of the 25th century. Yay! But then we have the Reverse Flash in a distance saying, "It won't last long, you'll never find love, and you'll never be able to be the Flash." And he says that Barry Allen destroyed his future, and he will destroy Barry Allen's. And this awesome Flash fact here that discusses the negative Speed Force and how even though Thawne hates Barry Allen, he can't destroy Barry. He can't. Well, I mean, he can now, but he can't go back in time and kill Barry, because if he did, then he wouldn't exist. The Speed Force wouldn't exist, the negative Speed Force wouldn't exist, he would never be the Flash, and he would never be the person he is today. So now he can... So basically, yeah. This was pretty great. If you love the Reverse Flash, get this. It is awesome. Again, Jeff Johns writes great villains. Get this. It is awesome. Alright. Detective Comics 872. In this story, Batman, Dick Grayson, is tracking down a hidden organization of underground dealers who sell the items and stuff used by criminals as sort of like memorabilia, sort of like nerds and sci-fi memorabilia. And so Batman basically tracks him down. He impersonates one of the buyers, walks in with a gas mask, but unfortunately the Society, or Mirror House as they're called, the head of Mirror House actually anticipated, and he fixed it so that Batman's mask wasn't immune to the poison gas that they have in the building. So Batman gets to it, and he pretty much starts losing it, and now they all attack him. Oh, interesting little side note, the item they were going to auction off tonight was the crowbar that the Joker used to kill Jason Todd. Well, not kill him, but just beat his brains out. Meanwhile, we'll get a nice little Commissioner Gordon backup feature about how Jim Gordon's dealing with the reappearance of his son. So yeah, Detective Comics, awesome. I love this. It's probably one of the best Batman things I've read in a while, so, I would recommend picking it up. Alright, now something I was looking forward to for weeks. Batman the Dark Knight #1. This was delayed a lot because David Finch not only wrote the issue, but he also penciled it. So, yeah. And the good thing about this is that it's Bruce Wayne in Gotham City. So that's something people really want to see. Bruce Wayne back in Gotham City, not around the world starring Batman Incorporated. Bruce is back in Gotham, and the reason for that is for the disappearance of one of his old childhood friends, Golden Dawn. Don Golden. Don Golden, old childhood friend of Bruce's, and Bruce is able to get some information from Killer Croc. And let me think of what else happened. What else? Pretty much gets information from Killer Croc that leads him to a safe where he finds Dawn's necklace, and the prints are wiped off, and then he gets cornered by the Penguin, who looks like hell. Okay? Finch's penciling is very good. I like the artwork. The artwork is very good. It's not a bad setup for a story. I mean, you've got Bruce Wayne's reason for staying in Gotham rather than out in the world for Batman Incorporated. And you also have a nice hook ending with Batman being cornered by the Penguin. I haven't seen the Penguin in a while. I just assumed that was because he was a crappy villain. Okay, that's all I have to say. Batman the Dark Knight. It's about $4. I'd recommend getting it if you want to see Bruce Wayne back as Batman, but you think Batman Incorporated is ridiculous. So yeah, if you don't want to read Batman Incorporated, but you want to see Bruce Wayne as Batman, get Batman the Dark Knight. And that's pretty much all my comics for this week. Again, Batman Dark Knight, get it if you don't want to get Incorporated, but you want Bruce Wayne as Batman. Detective Comics 872, awesome. Get it if you still love Dick Grayson as Batman. Flash #8, very good. Get it if you love. If Reverse Flash is one of your favorite villains, this is required. That's what I have to say. It's awesome. Teen Titans #90. It's okay. I mean, there is some character development for Superboy for like maybe one page, but that's just about it. That's all I have to say about it. And Green Lantern 61. Get it if you're a fan of the Red Lanterns or Atrocitus or the Spectre, I'd say. What If number 200. Get this if you love What If. If you love What if you love Siege, then I would recommend getting this. It's awesome. Okay? That's all I have to say for this week. Spider-Man 1991 saying, Happy New Year. Take care.